What's up, everybody? We're just going to kick back and see if a few people want to come into this live stream. I'm going to talk about my views on Nintendo and the emulator uh, situation going on. And I'm going to speak from history and talk about how history is repeating itself. Now, we all we all are going to see a few little glaring things that are already happening, and it's kind of crazy. So we'll see how it's going to play out. Everybody, I'm gonna lay some things out for you, and then we're gonna actually talk also about gaming, some gaming handhelds, the best route I think it is for people to go in the gaming realm right now, and what's happening with gaming, because a lot of things are changing when it comes to video games, whether you're playing on an Xbox or whether you're playing on a Nintendo or whether you're playing on a PlayStation. There is a lot changing. And some people will sit back and be like, well, what's the best option for me? Well, that's all up for you to decide what the best option for you is going to be, because there's a lot of options available. So that's where I come in. I'm just going to try to break down the options, tell you what I think the best option is, but that may not be the best option for you. And everybody out there is going to, sit back and think about it, logically, and decide what they should or should not do in that realm. But I mean, if you haven't heard about the big Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu being shut down, there was a lawsuit going on. They settled out of court. Yuzu's going to pay millions of dollars to Nintendo supposedly, and everything gets shut down. So no more Nintendo Switch emulation, right? Not really the case. That's not what happens in this type of situation. Um, what happens is you had one big dog, and I'm gonna speak in terms of things that people might remember in the past, because there's been quite a few times that things similar to this have happened, and then it's kind of blown up in the other company's face, where many more companies have come out with more emulators end up being available because of their strategy of shutting down the big dog that was out there. Now, why people would say, well, Nintendo shut them down, why would there be more available? Well, that's because when the software and the code is open source, everybody can copy it and make forks. Now, this has happened in the Kodi community. This has happened with APKs like Terrarium TV. TV add-ons got sued, and everybody forked the add-ons. You ended up with many more add-ons ever than you had before, and you ended up with more APKs than ever before that did that type of thing, mainly because people saw the big dog was gone, because the space was kind of dominated by one main person. And when that space isn't dominated by one main person, you end up with 10 other guys saying, oh, here's an opportunity to make some money. Let's jump in and try to do this, because the hard work's been done for us. We're going to go ahead and take that code that was already made, and we're going to turn around and we're going to develop our own version of it, maybe make a few little tweaks and changes, and go ahead and do that. So that's what happens. People, all they have to do is look at history to know that that's what's happened in the past. That's what's happening now. And a good example of that is, it's not hard for me to find examples of this right now, just not very long after. This was barely 12 hours after the shutdown of the Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu. Replacements began surfacing online. So this is just one article, and the proof of what I'm saying is right here on the screen for you to see. That it's absolutely ridiculous. These companies come in and they make the situation worse. All they have to do, if they really want to combat piracy, is give the customers what they want. This is a business where you're a service business. You're providing a service to people. Provide people what they want. People will pay for it. Give them a reasonable price and people will pay for it. It's that easy. And whether we're talking about streaming movies or TV shows or playing video games or streaming video games, because there's all kinds of cloud gaming and different things going on in that particular realm as well. All subjects for another time. What we're talking about right now is the fact that when a vacuum is left, let's just say even a drug dealer, right? The big dog gets knocked off in an area, you're going to have five other guys waiting to take his place because there's an opportunity. So that opportunity, that it's going to get filled. The void isn't going to stay a void. If Nintendo thinks people are going to stop, they're sorely mistaken. And the sad thing is one of the reasons people do use emulators is not even to pirate the games, it's to play the games better, because Nintendo's hardware is garbage. When you can go on an emulator and you can play it with double the frame rates and higher resolutions and play the game smoother and better than you can on the device from the company that made the software the games are supposed to be coming from, well, then that right there tells you all you need to know. All the company needs to do, aka Nintendo in this case, is put out a better product. People would be happy with it. Hey, what's up, King Webb? Skull's Playlist. Blind's Eye One. Just say a quick hi to everybody in the chat real quick. I'm not ignoring you. I just wanted to try to get a point across that I was wanting to try to make about the industry and what's going on and what's always happened in this situation. Companies need to do a better job supplying a product that people want, supplying a proper product, right? Now, that gets me to my point of view on the best way to play video games, and it may not be your best way to play video games. It just all depends on the person. Me, I don't really play on consoles. I play on PCs pretty much exclusively. And so nowadays we've got one of the things that's changing is in the handheld market. We've got a lot of handheld gaming devices. Asus came out with the ROG Ally, which is a Windows-based device. You've also got the new Lenovo on the market right now, and you've also got an MSI Claw handheld. These are all Windows-based devices. There is a lot of chatter that Microsoft might even in the near future get out of making consoles completely. We don't know what the truth of that is, but the bottom line is you can actually play more games and have more options and have more power for less or the same amount of money when you go with one of these handheld consoles than handheld PCs rather, than if you go with a handheld console like the Steam Deck, which is really popular. And it's not a bad device, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to down the Steam Deck and say it's garbage. I do kind of think the Switch is garbage at this point. It wasn't great when it came out, and they should have brought a new one out over 2 years ago. The reason they didn't, I have no clue. Nintendo just is, I don't know what kind of game they're playing, giving people this kind of product to play with, when you can already see the other consoles on the market and handheld gaming devices are so much more powerful that it would be ridiculous for, in my opinion, anybody to think about buying a new Nintendo Switch at this point in time. Nintendo is planning on putting out a new Nintendo Switch sometime in the very near future. And if history repeats itself, they'll screw over their customers like they did previously and, several times previously. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to end up in that situation. Right now, you can go out and get yourself an ROG Ally, or you can go get one of the Lenovo's, or any one of a number of other handheld PC devices. Very, very powerful. I mean, look, we've got 8-core, 16-thread, high megahertz speed devices that are so fast it's ridiculous. The graphics coming out of these devices are capable of pushing out great graphics performance for you to play games on. So there's no reason for you to think you're not going to be able to play games in a very nice way on most of these handhelds. I do it that way because I wanted to standardize my entire setup through my house. I wanted everything running on Windows because in Windows you can do more than anything. You can run an Android emulator and run all your Android apps. You can run Windows, you can run Windows apps. You can also run game emulators if that's what you decide to do. And you can run any kind of old retro game if you want to as well. A lot of options available to you that you don't get on a lot of other devices. So if you really want to standardize your setup and give you the ability for all your devices to kind of talk to each other and share files with each other over your network, then you want to get everything the same. Don't get different stuff. Don't have an Apple phone and a Microsoft PC. Don't have, the Nintendo Switch and, Windows devices. None of them are compatible with each other. So that's why I kind of went down that road. I kind of stick with trying to make sure I keep all of my equipment standardized. Now I've got some older game consoles. I've got an Xbox 360, a PlayStation 2. What I don't have is I don't have any newer PlayStation consoles. I don't have any newer Xbox consoles. Um, that's it. I've got those older consoles. I've got a Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube, but I don't have any of the newer consoles because I kind of transitioned over a lot of years ago to just running everything on the PC and gathering my collection in Steam, EA, and Epic, and any game thing that you can think of. So when I step onto my gaming console handheld unit, I could also hook that up to my TV and play games on it as well. And the unit will be much more versatile as far as the amount of games I can play on it. Now you'll say, well, but you can't play some of these other games, and there's titles that are only on the Sony PlayStation and etc. I got so many games, I don't care. I don't have enough time to play all the games I have anyway, and whatever games I can't play, whatever. Um, there are so many games on the market right now that it makes no sense to try to have all the consoles just because there's one or two games over here that I might want to play that I can't play on anything else, and just spend a bunch of money on that console just for that purpose. So instead, I would go with a device that just has more versatility, that has the larger number of games that I can play. When we started this whole thing, I was talking about Nintendo and how I feel the future is going to happen, and it's not going to be good for them. You're going to have tons and tons more piracy happen because of what they did. And the reason you're going to have more piracy is more of these emulators will be modified slightly and made better. And you're going to have a lot more emulators, and you're going to have even better emulators because now the top dog isn't there. And when you had the top dog there, these guys wouldn't have dared try to take the code and try to make another emulator to kind of, jump into the space. But they see an opportunity, so they're going to take it. I backed up most of mine. The Ninzu and Solon, you already know. Yeah. So I mean, we've got it's amazing. It's amazing that these companies make such blundered, boneheaded moves. Um, you have companies like Dish Network, right? And stuff. They're in financial trouble, and look at all what they were doing to try to go after piracy and stuff. What they should be doing is finding a way to make their product more enticable to sell to people. These companies need to focus on their job and what they're doing instead of other people trying to, take them down over just nothing. That's why this article is so important. 12 hours after the shutdown, replacements were already surfacing. So everybody needs to know that that's the history. What's happened before, that's what's going to happen again, and that's what will continue to happen until these companies start to realize that they need to take care of their customers and push themselves into a better situation. Um, any questions for me as far as what you guys think about all of this, and anything I can answer right now? Because there's a lot going on. I think the future I think the future is going to see us look at a lot of these consoles as becoming game pushers. And if these game companies also want to make more money, they should make sure their games are available on more devices, not less devices. You shouldn't have your games be a device only on PlayStation or only on Xbox or only on Nintendo. If they want to sell more games, they need to have a place to purchase the games where more people are at. You need to go where the people are and sell your games that way so that you can actually make more money with the games. If I was you know, leading up these companies, my first and foremost focus would be how can we sell the very most amount of games, not consoles, because consoles historically don't make you a lot of money. They're just a vessel to sell the games. So if you just need a vessel to sell the games, they're already out there. There's these new handhelds on the market like crazy. PCs are already out there like crazy. People can make a custom PC into a custom gaming console real easily, and the prices aren't even that expensive anymore these days. So it makes no sense to kind of box yourself into this one device, whether it be a Sony or Xbox. And they've already talked about starting to release some of their content onto other platforms. So that's coming as well. So we're going to see a lot of changes in the gaming industry. Hopefully that is some good news for a lot of you. I know it's good news for me because I'm going to see more of these games come available on what I run games on, which is the PC, which runs more than anything else out there, including old PC games from way back, and et cetera, et cetera. So the I have an Intel PC, I have a Ryzen PC. I am by no means a fanboy of any particular brand. I buy whatever I can get the best deal on, and that's basically how things roll there. So how is everybody doing, and what do you all think that the this whole emulator thing? Do you guys have the same opinion of me that there's just going to be more emulators pop up than ever before, and what Nintendo did was kind of a bad thing? Or do you think it's going to be the opposite, and their efforts are worth it? I'm just curious other people's opinion. Leave a comment down below this video, depending on what your opinion might be on that, so that I can kind of get an idea from other people what they think on this, because I'm sure other people have different opinions, although I'm backing my opinion up from history, what's happened before. You can even go all the way back to when they tried to shut down Pirate Bay, right? They couldn't do it. Couldn't shut it down. Torrents are another one of those type of things where it's never gonna get shut down. Once it's out there on the internet and all out there, you can't shut this stuff down. No, I lost my other big YouTube channel, the Mr. On Demand channel. That one I lost it a lot of years ago. And I just go on this channel once in a while right now, but I do feel like I plan on doing a little bit more on this particular YouTube channel. I do have another channel, but it doesn't only has a few hundred subscribers, I think. Um, and I don't really do much over there. How do I feel about Microsoft and Intel? Well, they're all climbing into brand new realms. So, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. Intel's got their brand new designs of their chips that are out right now. The ARC technology that they've got built into the graphics on their new processors is just not very good yet. That doesn't mean it won't get there. So we'll see what happens with that. Microsoft hopefully makes some great changes with Windows 12 and puts out a good operating system. I have a lot of question marks because the leadership of Microsoft Windows changed. So they've pushed back Windows 12. Windows 12 is going to be delayed. So we're going to still have Windows 11 around a little longer, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. When it comes to Windows 12, there's a lot of questions in that area, and Intel's on the right track. They're pushing more into AI, and with their type of with the way they're making their processors, the new design, it's quite complicated. But in other words, they've kind of copied AMD a little bit, but made some improvements on that. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Pretty much, I don't think it's the hardware that's the problem with Intel at the moment. I think it's going to be software drivers, optimization to make it run better. So I think in the future we'll see ARC probably being pretty darn good. I think Intel probably moved into the ARC technology for their graphics, more to compete with the graphics that AMD had built into their processors, because Intel had nothing to compete with it. The Intel HD graphics was garbage. It didn't compete on a gaming level at all in any way, shape, or form. The other name of the other channel should be Mr. On Demand, or it should be, no, Republica Streamers. I believe it's named Republica Streamers. That's the name of the other channel, I think. I will I will look though, double check what I had named it, because I had renamed it. Let's go. Not that. Yeah, Republic of Streamers. I will see if I can put a link to that channel in here right now. Let's go to the studio there. Yeah, I got 280 subscribers on that one. That's just a small channel that I started up a long time ago. Those are the only two channels I have. So let me go to here. And this is the other channel I have. This channel was meant to be more just for streaming content. The Republic of Streamers channel, the one I just posted. This channel right here is meant to be just for tech, complete 100% technology information about, anything technology oriented. And if anybody's new coming in here, we were talking about the Yuzu game emulator being shut down. The fact that they shut it down caused a lot of copycats to pop up. So there's going to be a lot more, I think, of those emulators pop up. And I think that's bad for Nintendo. While the big dog was out there, Yuzu, nobody was going to touch trying to, copy it or fork it. But now that they had to shut down, everybody sees a void in the market, and everybody's going to jump in making their own emulator, because all the hard work's been done for them already. So it's very similar to what happened in the past with like Pirate Bay, torrent streaming, what happened with TV add-ons, what happened with Terrarium TV. Very similar to all of those type of things, where 10 more forks popped up after the guys were gone, and it was just craziness in that particular area where there was a void that needed to be filled, and it got filled, and it will always get filled. These companies don't need to stop worrying again. They need to stop worrying about piracy, and they need to start focusing on what they can do to keep their customers happy, give people a proper product, and not this BS that they do, thinking they've got I just don't understand the thinking, the anti-customer thinking. I mean, when you buy a product, the fact they think they can tell you what to do with what you spent your hard-earned money on is ridiculous. So it literally, Nintendo thinks it's illegal. If you paid them for the game, they think it's illegal for you to take that game, copy it, and play it on a different device. You didn't buy, a license with Microsoft to not be able to run Windows on multiple different computers. So why would you buy a video game from Nintendo where you can only run it on their crappy device? I don't get that. So um it just makes no sense to me. I mean, these companies need to, think a little logically. I mean, the money's in the software and the money's in the games. So why don't you try your best to make sure you can sell those to as many customers as possible and make sure those customers have a fun time? This is entertainment at the end of the day. So if they're not having fun and they're being frustrated by, the whatever, rules that these companies are laying out, then that's just going to make things worse for the companies that, at the end of the day, whether it be Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony PlayStation or whatever company it might be. These companies need to focus on selling their games to the most people. And I think Microsoft has done that a lot, especially the last couple of years. They've started a lot of cross-play capabilities so that you can basically run all your Xbox games on a PC. You've got, you've got a lot of stuff that's opened up on in that area. And a lot of Xbox fans will be like, "Oh no, it's not on Xbox anymore. Whatever shall we do?" Dude, I don't care what the game is on. I just want the game to play and I want to have fun with the game. I am not a fanboy of any particular product, whether it be any name brand. I always go with what the best deal for the money is and what will do the most for me at the end of the day for my pocket. That's why I run my games on PCs. I recommend getting a handheld PC for the money. You're going to be able to play more games on it. And if you build your catalog, between all these different game companies, whether it be EA or Microsoft with Game Pass, or whether it be Steam, or whether it be Epic Games. If you get a PC, you can play all of those, all of them. There's not another device that will do that. Literally, there isn't another device that will do that. So that's why that's the best option in my mind to go with, because it gives you the most capability to play the most things out there. Not to mention all the straight PC only games that are just straight PC only that you can download and install and play, that aren't even in a Play Store, that are free to play games as well. It's amazing what content is available out there. And that's why I say I don't even care about the games I can't get, because those are so few and far between, and I don't care about them enough for it to warrant buying a $700 console just to play one game, or maybe two or three. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I go the route I am. And believe me, I'm not saying that you have to go that way. I'm just giving you my opinion and the information that I have to help you try to make the right decision for you. For some people, trying to load games or do things on a PC gets a little too complicated, so they would rather go the route of a game console. It is easier. So that is one reason to go game console. I heard Intel was pushing 155% more power than AMD. You need to relook at that. It's not really. It depends on what you're looking at entirely, but different tests are going to show different things. The new AMD processors are running terrific, as well as Intel, and I've got a newer generation Intel. Um, and here's the thing: they haven't come out with the desktop ones yet. So what everybody's waiting on is to see what these new desktop processors from Intel do with this new generation that's going to be completely new socket, new motherboard, everything. 14th gen was a joke. It was only a few percent faster than 13th gen. So, that being said, I wouldn't recommend anybody, if you're running 12th gen, you don't need to upgrade to 13th or 14th gen. I'm running a 12th gen i7 myself. So, I wouldn't. I'm not going to be jumping up. Even when they come out with the first release of that Intel processor, King, I would tell you this. I would wait for it to get released first, and I would give it a minimum of 3 to 6 months on the market to see where things land. Here's the reason. If history has told you anything, with the ARC technology that they came out with, they had and still have a lot of issues to iron out in that area. So with these new processors that they're bringing out, there's going to be similar issues. We're going to have some support driver software issues on the horizon. And AMD has the same thing happen when they come out with brand new stuff. But right now, what you're looking at is like the third generation of the integrated graphics from AMD, and the Ryzen's been around long enough now where they don't really have too much issues with any of their products on the market. That doesn't mean if they come out with something brand new that they won't have their own set of issues that they've got to iron out as well. And that usually happens. They got to get with software companies like Microsoft and game companies to iron out and fix bugs and problems and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm saying 3 to 6 months minimum. And then I usually like to give them a whole year before I decide to jump into a new platform, unless that new platform is just something just absolutely unbelievable. And that gets to the other side of the coin that we're looking at right now with AI technology. AI is rapidly progressing, and we're talking weekly, not like monthly or yearly here. AI is progressing at a rapid pace. Nobody can keep up with it. So we've got some crazy things coming up the rest of this year when it comes from AI technology and what it's capable of. And I've been working with a lot of AI tools, and I specifically plan on doing a lot of videos targeting some AI tools out there and showing you what some of these tools can do. I'm actually going to be paying for some of the AI tools as well. I made an AI little 15-second commercial the other day with a person that looked pretty darn real to me, and it was completely AI generated. And the person was sitting there talking, the lips synced to the speech really well. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing. So there's a lot of amazing stuff you can do with AI out there, and AI is definitely the future. Any of you guys that want to make some money, AI is definitely, you should be looking into something you can do with AI. Whether it's using AI to make graphics that you put on your pillows or put onto mugs and selling them, or whether it's using AI for something else completely. AI's got lots and lots of practical applications that can help almost any industry or any business make them more profitable and more streamlined. All right, let's see. We've been going a little over half an hour now. I hope you guys are all having a good night. Hopefully you're not bored with what I'm talking about. I understand if you are. Sometimes some of this tech stuff can get pretty darn boring, and that's cool with me. I just wanted to voice my opinion on this whole thing with the emulators and everything, and basically put it out there because it was kind of a point of view I don't think people had put out a whole lot yet. And I kind of wanted to make sure I had my opinion out there for everybody to kind of hear and know. As you can see, I'm working with some different graphics and different things here. I'm playing with some stuff, green screen wise. I'm gonna work on my studio, make things things a little nicer so I can do some little bit higher quality videos. Playing it with it a little bit here and there. You're already seeing a little bit more of me right now. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me, just because I need to get on and do these videos and use the AI tools that I'm playing with to do them so that I can use it in a practical way that might help me make some money as well. So hopefully you guys all are all having a great weekend. I know I did. Watched the fights last night. and they were pretty fun. And hopefully, you guys all have a good time. And if you want to know more information about any of this tech stuff, just go join my Telegram group. The link is in the description of this video. You should be able to go join it and join the conversation more there, where I also publish videos in the Telegram group as well to show people different things and post things from other YouTubers and other different articles all over the internet to keep you up to date with whatever tech news that I see going on that I think might be important. Otherwise, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. And have fun. Enjoy all the new exciting stuff on the horizon for tech.